Can you hear me now? Today we are going to discuss about the best time management tips for FMGE. So let me go into details, certain things. If you have any questions or queries, you can just write me there in YouTube, then I would answer. So first of all, I'm going to explain, this is a continuation of the previous webinar. In the previous webinar, we discussed about the best MCQ solving techniques in FMGE. This is applicable to FMGE MCQs. You cannot use the same technique for various other tests. This is exclusively for FMGE. As a continuum of the previous webinar, we are going to discuss about the best time management tips, because you know that even though you know the text, if you know the theory and you don't know how to imply this knowledge into the exam question and choose the appropriate answer, you won't be able to crack the FMGE. That's the first part. In the previous webinar, I explained you exclusively how to approach various types of MCQs, how to approach the stems, how to choose the answers, and all the techniques about various MCQs. Here we are going to come to the last point, where we are going to explain about the time management techniques. Okay, let me explain once again. Whoever don't know who am I, I'm Dr. Harry. I'm the director of DMA Chennai. I'm a research fellow and senior lecturer in Jinzhou Medical University. It is in China. I work in the anatomy and neuroscience department. I'm a visiting faculty for various universities in China and Russia. I authored, co-authored, and edited various books, and I have been working as a leading educator since 2008. If you want to know about me, you can check online. So no need to explain too much about this topic and waste time. We can get into the concept, what we are going to discuss. Okay, these are some of the books. And as you know, this is the QRS, which is the hot cake. And we are still waiting for the release because of the shutdown in Chennai. We are facing a lot of difficulties and delays in the printing and distribution. So I'm expecting, at least I have been telling this for past 2 weeks, but we cannot avoid this. This is an unavoidable situation that Chennai has been again locked down for more than like 1 week now. I guess they are going to extend it to next month also. Hopefully, I will be able to release probably by 10th of July. I hope so. Okay. These are some of our toppers who scored more than 200. DMA has been in this teaching field since 2005, and we created more than 2,000 toppers who scored more than 200 marks in FMGE since 2010. And this is one of my students who scored 237, and this marks was the second highest in all India ranking. This is our. Okay, this I showed you also. So these are some kind of specific test taking techniques that will be enhancing your accuracy and confidence while you are choosing the best answer in the FMGE. So let me go into the detail. What is going to be the agenda or the plan for today's webinar? The first part, how much time you are going to give per MCQ. This is called smart exam pacing. And the second part, what I'm going to discuss here, is called tackle the pacing of difficult MCQ. Because you know that per part, we have two parts in FMGE, you know, part A or part 1, part B or second part. In each part, about 20 questions would be difficult questions. About 20 questions would be really easy questions. So you don't have the same difficulties in all questions, which means you should develop some kind of technique or skill to tackle the pace through the difficulty of MCQ. Some will be easier, some will be difficult. We will be discussing about it. Next one, it is very important. You should be able to tackle the FMGE software. It's a mistake here. The M is missing. FMGE software. The next part is intelligent or educated guess. When you are reading a question, you have no clue what is this question about. You have never read such a question, you have never heard such a question, then still you are not going to leave the options, because you know that each MCQ counts. You have 300 MCQs, and each MCQ counts because there are no negative marking. If you make mistake, it is 0. So you should use intelligent guess in order to choose the best option. Changing the answer option. This is also a very important thing. Many people are scared of this. I'll explain you the psychology behind this and how to use this one. The last part is toppers, do's and don'ts. This is the plan or agenda for today's webinar. Okay. After I completed previous webinar, one student asked me, sir, should I follow your guidelines religiously? Shouldn't I modify anything? Should I follow without asking any question? Like that, he asked a question. The answer for that question is, keep it in mind, I give you an intelligent and general platform how to clear the MCQs. Which means we are giving one of the best technique, one of the best set of tips based on our toppers and based on our experts. It doesn't mean that you have to blindly follow without any kind of modification. Why? Keep it in mind, you know that the average pass percentage of FMG is below 25, which means more than 75% of the students don't have an idea or don't have an efficient technique to solve MCQs. That's one of the main reasons why they are flunking. So we are providing you an effective technique from DMA based on our experts team and toppers. And keep it in mind, remaining 25% of students might have some idea about solving these MCQs, which means you can use some of my techniques to enhance your technique. This is one possibility. And there can be about 10% of the students who are extremely clever. They have their own effective MCQ solving techniques. In that case, you don't need to bother about my technique. So there are 3 options here. If you don't have any techniques at all, you can use my technique. But still you can modify, adjust, or adapt according to your comfort and according to your effectiveness. If you have already another one effective technique, and if you can grasp some of the techniques from my platform to be used in your platform to make it more effective, you are welcome. There are about 10% of the students who are extremely clever. If you have any better idea, if you have any better techniques than what we are providing, then you can go on with yours. So we are giving you a better and effective platform based on our experts and toppers. So you can see the quote of Bruce Lee: absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own, which means that you can adapt whenever it is necessary. You don't need to follow blindly or religiously whatever I am giving you. This is very important because all of you are unique. But for 75% of the students who don't have any effective techniques, please, I advise you to follow the best technique what we are providing based on our experts and toppers. Okay, last time I explained you the success in the approach to the MCQ, or the success in cracking an MCQ will depend on 5 skills or 5 factors. What are these factors? Comprehension, which means once you are reading an MCQ, you should understand what they are asking. Second skill is analysis of the question. You are implementing the knowledge you have and you are analyzing the question and you understand what they are asking. After that, you are going to use your memory. You recall the facts necessary. So you are going to try to put the fact what is necessary for choosing the answer. After that, when you read the options, you are going to reason and you are going to choose what is not the appropriate answer. They are called distractors, and you will be choosing the most appropriate option. That's the correct answer. But keep it in mind, all these 4 skills should be implemented within a time frame given. So usually the FMG is providing 1 minute per question, but you should effectively work to decrease this time to about 45 seconds. Why? Usually we should give about 40 to 50 seconds. What is the reason behind this? I'm going to explain you in detail today. So if you are approaching an MCQ and you are going to give 3 minutes per MCQ, even though you are good at theory, even though you are good at recalling, even though you are good at reasoning, you will be able to approach only 1/3 of the question, which means You will approach only 50 questions. Then you won't be able to pass. So once again, once you are approaching a question, comprehend, analyze, recall, reason, you should do all these 4 factors within a given frame of time. So the most important part and the last part what we are going to discuss in this webinar is going to be time management per MCQ and overall FMG. Is it clear? Okay. This I showed you last time. The gun is like your knowledge. So you are studying from books, you are watching webinars, you are watching a lot of video lectures, and also you are going to various classes. You are gathering bundle of information. This is your knowledge. This is a pool. But if you don't know how to use this knowledge carefully, if you don't know how to implement this knowledge into MCQ to sort out what is the appropriate answer within the given time frame, then you are not going to crack this FMG. That's why it's exactly like this guy. So he has a gun, like you have knowledge. If you don't know exactly how to use this knowledge, you won't be able to crack this exam. So here I'm giving you all the information necessary to crack this FMGE MCQ. So we are providing stepwise, strategic, effective information based on educational psychology. We are not only giving to our students, we are giving to all FMG aspirants available. It's free. And after completing this webinar, I'm going to provide a website link where you can read all the things I explained. This is my website where we are giving all the information with the scientific basis. I'll provide this by the end of this webinar. Okay. So as I explained to you guys, I know that you are clever. So nobody is fool. You have enough knowledge. You studied for 6 years in Russia or post-USSR countries. You studied for 5 years in China and some other countries. You gathered enough information. You have enough knowledge. But keep it in mind once again, even though having knowledge is not enough, you should be able to implement this knowledge into the question, sort out what is the question, reason what is going to be the answer. So you are going to choose the appropriate answer within the given time frame. So time management in real-time FMG is very important, and this skill should be groomed over the time during the FMG preparation. And if you don't develop the time management, it's exactly what I told you. You might be really clever, you might be really very intelligent, but if you don't know how to solve the MCQ within 1 minute of time and you are taking 3 minutes per question, technically you are going to solve 50 questions in one paper. Technically you solve 100 questions in 2 papers. You won't be able to pass because the pass marks is 150. Let me go to the next one. So as I showed you, so one statistic I want to show you. So about 70 to 75% of foreign medical graduates have difficulties in handling the time management during the attempt of FMGE MCQ, which means they have some knowledge, they know how to approach the MCQs, but they are not checking the time. So here what we are going to discuss, what is the effective time management according to DMA. You can use this, you can modify this, you can fit according to your criteria, according to your comfort, according to your effectiveness. Probably you might get something better than us. Keep it in mind, keep adapting. This is very important. We are providing the effective one, but if you can adapt and you can fit it to yours, it will be more than great, I guess. Yes, let's go to the next one. Okay, smart pacing. The first part, let's start. So I'm going to discuss some stuff, some important stuff, and I'm going to give some stories. I'm not just going to tell you some stats. I'm going to tell you some stories. So first thing, keep it in mind that you are given 1 minute per question, but you should start practicing 45 seconds per question regimen. So keep it in mind, you can give 40 to 50 seconds per question. You can ask a question, why? It's very simple. People who attempted MCQs in FMG, you will understand in each part, about 20 questions are very easy. You don't need to spend 40 seconds for these MCQs. Why? They are very simple and they are very direct. If you know the answer, you crack this question. For example, if they ask you a question, what is the longest cranial nerve in your body? It's a very simple question. If you know the fact, you crack it, you pass this. This is Vagusna. Do you need 45 seconds for this? You don't need 45 seconds for this. But on contrary, there are 20 questions, about 20 questions that will be very difficult and that might be really very bulky, like case-based question, especially in part 2. You know that in part 2 you get number of case-based questions. So in this case, you won't be able to solve these questions in 45 seconds. It's true. So there are two extremes. You have very easy questions, about 20 in number, where you don't need 40 seconds. And you have about 20 questions that are really tough or that are really bulky, and you need more than 45 seconds. Then why do I advise you to stick to this 45 seconds per question regimen? I'm going to explain you about four group of people from educational psychological point of view. So just think about these people or think about this appropriate group of people and try to fit your foot into this set. And if it is fitting you, you can use this cap. If it is fitting, you can wear on these shoes. So let me tell why I am just suggesting, why am I advising students to follow this 45 seconds a question regimen? Because of the following reason. There is a group of students who are called as intuitors. According to educational psychology, we divide students according to their psychological profile. One of the psychological profile is called as intuitor. Such intuitors have a habit of overlooking the question. What is overlooking? They don't read the questions correctly, especially when there is a very qualifying word like except. You know that many questions, examiners in FMGE and NEET PG, they love to give such a negative stem question. They give a question and they give except at last. Such group of people who are called as intuitors, they tend to overlook the question, especially they overlook the qualifying word like except. Why? They try to read it fast. So keep it in mind, you should try to premeditate and you should try to train to do the MCQs, and you should dedicate about 45 seconds per question. This should be a regimen. Why? You are premeditating. It is like you are doing exercise. It is like you are doing exercise in the gym. You are trying to fix a time and you are trying to work accordingly because you don't want to make such mistakes I'm explaining. So the first group of people are intuitors, and intuitors will be having such a habit of overlooking the MCQs. They are called as intuitors. Next group of people are called as judges. According to educational psychology, another one group, we call them as judges. These people tend to jump into the conclusion. They want to judge as fast as possible. They won't read all the options. They might read the question very well, but they will not read all the four options. They will read first or second option. They tend to take the conclusion as soon as they read the first or second option. They don't even want to read option C or option D. They read A, B, and they come to the conclusion A is correct or B is correct. This is another one grave mistake. Even you think, even you believe firmly that answer A is the correct one, still you are going to read all four options because the last option might be all of the following. Don't fall for the trap. Read all four options. So there's another one group of people. The first group is intuitors. The second group is called judges. These people jump into conclusion. Next group of people, these group of people are called as perceivers. According to educational psychology, they are called perceivers. Probably you might also fit into this group of people. These people tend to read the question again and again and again and waste the time. What is going to be the effect? If you keep wasting the time, you won't have enough time for even the easy question that is coming after. So once again, if you keep wasting the time in one question because you are over reading the question, you can face really an easy question later on where you won't be having enough time. So you're going to face many easy questions, upcoming easy question, and you won't be having enough time. This is one of the bad effects of wasting a lot of time, lingering too much of time over one MCQ, what you feel as a tough MCQ. Another one problem, because you are wasting much time into this MCQ, you tend to talk yourself into choosing a wrong answer. So one thing, because you are wasting too much of time, you won't have enough time to face even the easy questions that are upcoming. Second thing, you tend to push yourself to choose a wrong answer. Keep it in mind, according to educational psychological researches. I want to tell you a joke. More time you spend in a question has a positive correlation with choosing the wrong answer. So this, I can even give you the reference and citation. More time you are going to spend in a tough question, which is having a positive correlation that you choose the wrong answer. You read more, you are lingering too much over one MCQ, which means you tend to push yourself to choose a wrong answer. So too much of time spent on one MCQ has a positive correlation of choosing a wrong answer. Okay, what about the last group of people? Many people have this urge. I will explain from educational psychology point of view why many people can't resist the urge to finish the exam as soon as possible, because their brain is apprehending the exam as a threat, because they didn't study, probably they didn't prepare well, or they have exam anxiety, or they don't know how to manage the exam. So now your brain is setting that the FMG is a threat to you. So automatically your mind will start to think, I should finish this exam as soon as possible. If I finish, the threat is gone. It is gone. It is not real. This is how your brain works. Once you have a challenging situation, if your anxiety is disproportional to this given situation, normally once you are trying to sort out a task, you get some kind of special anxiety. This is called performance anxiety. Once you have disproportional anxiety, you start to get exam stress, which will be hampering your skills to choose the best answer, and your brain will set an alarm to think this FMG is a threat. So what your mind is thinking now, I want to finish this exam as soon as possible. So keep it in mind, there are four groups of people. One overlooks the MCQ. One jumps into conclusion so fast without checking the option. The other one is overreading again and again, and they are pushing themselves to choose the wrong answer. The last group of people, they want to finish the exam as soon as possible. They feel, okay, it's done. I'm going home. So these four group of people are fitting into the 75% of the students who are flunking. So if you try to sort out these problems, you can pass easily. So people are not discussing about the educational psychology. Nobody's counseling you. We are telling you the truth. We are discussing the fact. You would be fitting into one or the other group I explained you. Now you can understand why you couldn't crack the FMG. So once again, this 45-second per question regimen, it is like a pre-meditation or training in the gym, training in the stadium, training in wherever you are training for some kind of special sport meet. It can be even like, every day you are running, every day you are practicing. You are practicing with the time limit, because you are going to have some kind of competition with the time limit. So in order to practice for this time limit, you are training yourself, like training in gym or training in the ground. Okay, let me go to next. Okay, one by one I'll explain. I'll tell you the tips, I'll tell you the technique, and I will tell you why. Because why is the most important question than what in medicine. You might mug up the facts. You can have good memory to mug up the fact, but if you don't know why it is happening in medicine, then you will never remember this. That is very important. Let's talk about all these education psychology in the classes. Okay, one more important thing you should know, once you are attempting the MCQs, don't shuffle up, which means you are going to answer each question in the order in which it appears. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. because I met many students in my university. I'm teaching in Jinjo Medical University. I have been working with many coaching centers since 2008. Once we give exam, this is one of the mentality of most of the students. They think that, you see, the first and second questions are really easy. I will solve the difficult question, I will solve the tough question, and I will come back to the easy questions and I will complete this because I know the answer. I know it is the easiest question. This is one of the grave mistakes. Keep it in mind. Once you go to tougher questions, you might be wasting a lot of time and you might not have enough time to come back and solve these easy questions. You might not have time. So you won't have time. You are going to miss the easy questions too. So change this mindset. I know more than 50% of the students have such a mindset. So just give the exam in the order which it appears. You answer each question. Don't skip. You can skip only with one reason. I will explain. So read each question, mark each answer before moving into the next one, unless this question is very tough for you. If you think this question is completely unknown for you, it is too tough for you, you have never heard such a question, in this condition, you skip this question. So you are going to keep reading the question in the order in which it appears, and you are going to approach all easy or simple question. You will be leaving the unknown questions only. If it is a question which is little bit of, it's giving you a kind of little bit of confusion, then still you can mark an answer. I will explain you how to use the software to mark the confused questions. I'm going to explain after this point. Keep it in mind. Do not shuffle up. You're going to answer each question in the order in which it appears. And second thing, do not skip. You are going to skip only the difficult question which you don't have any idea about, or you don't have any clue what is this question about. You're going to attempt all other questions. Even though it might be confusing, choose an answer, because you're going to mark this question. You will come back again and you are going to reconsider about this question. How to use the software and how to use this mark button option, I'm going to show you. Okay. Next very important thing, keep it in mind that you are going to answer questions in cluster. Never try to answer all 150 questions in one go. It is a very big mistake of at least 30 to 40% of students. I'll explain why. What is the educational psychology behind this? You should know that our brain has a capacity and limit of focus or attention, which means the focus or the attention has a very short span. If you are trying to focus into a task, if you are trying to look into a task, if you are trying to increasing the attention to a task, it will work only up to a limit, which means it was found out by many scientists during their educational researches that if we work in a very short burst of time, which means you are giving limited time and you are taking a very short gap of rest, again you start to focus, the ability of focus or the attention will be at peak. This is the educational psychological basis of Pomodoro technique. If you remember about Pomodoro technique, which I explained you, yes, we are setting the time and you work for a set of time which is less than 30 minutes. And after completing this 25 minutes, 5 minutes break you are taking. So you work effectively, you get focused, you are increasing your attention span within this 25 minutes. After that, for 5 minutes, you are going to take rest. Same story, if you are going to focus very sharp into 5 or 10 questions, maximum I advise to my students, you do questions in cluster, which means you are going to choose 10 questions optimally. Which means within this short burst of time span, your focus and attention will be peak. After completing 10 questions, what you have to do? Don't go to the next set. What you have to do? You are going to stretch up once, yes, stretch your body well. What else you are going to do? you are also going to do one more thing. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and exhale, and you are going to relax for a second. So keep it in mind as soon as you complete 10 MCQs, before going into the next set, stretch. Why I already explained you, once you are sitting, once you are sedentary, a lot of blood will be staying into your lower extremities, which means there is going to be a relative deficiency of blood supply to your brain. So what happens, your brain is not going to work effectively. Once you stretch up, there is going to be movement of the blood. It is going to be good because your brain will be working well. Another one, take a deep breath. You're taking enough amount of oxygen and you exhale and you're going to relax for a second. After that, you go to the next step. This is going to really work. We tried this. My students are trying this. After you complete this webinar, watch the first webinar, how to approach the MCQ. You complete this webinar and you are really going to change the idea how to approach the MCQ. This is called shift of paradigm. In psychology, we call it shift of paradigm. You had different idea about MCQ. Now you have a different vision about MCQ. Okay, next two things I just want to tell. This is like once you are riding a horse in a race. Keep it in mind, don't keep checking your competitor behind. Once you are riding motorbike, once you are riding a horse, you are in a race. So you should focus into your activity to win this race. Stop checking your competitor. Stop checking your opponent behind. If you tend to do this, you can meet with an accident or you can lose the focus. So keep it in mind. I'm going to tell you two things. Do not stop, like, if you are like checking the answers, you have a time which you are going to give to check the answers. So keep it in mind. You should do one thing, that once you are doing a set of MCQs, don't keep looking at the answers what you did or answer what you choose in the previous question. Don't do it. Why? Because you are doing 10 questions. If you keep looking at the previous question again and again and again, you are going to waste more time. Once you are wasting more time, you will be getting more anxiety. If you get more anxiety, you are going to get less confident once again. So once you are going to work into an MCQ, you are going to work in clusters. You should not look into the previous questions answers at each time, because we are giving a special time for doing this. We will be giving 20 minutes to do and check the previous question and answers. It's very important. The next part, keep it in mind that you know that at your screen, at your template, there is also time running. So one more very important advice, don't keep looking at the watch. So it's a mistake over here. Yes, I should bring it over here because it's written wrong here. You should stop looking at the answers for each question what you did previously. It's a mistake which is written over here. You should not look at watch all the time. When you have to watch, so it's written over here, you're going to do 3 sets of questions. After completing 3 sets, usually 30 questions, you can check the answers. So once again, don't waste time in checking the previous question's answer. This is very important thing, which will increase your time which you are spending in a question, which will decrease your confidence, which will increase your anxiety. Another one thing, once you are doing each question, especially your difficult question, don't keep looking at the watch which is running. Why? Because now you are going to waste more time, you are going to increase the anxiety. That will decrease the confidence. So once you are going to check the watch which is running in the template, you do it after doing 3 sets of MCQ. That is after 30 questions. Is it clear? So once again, so you can correct this mistake which is written over here. Yes, I will correct it too. So you should stop looking at the previous questions answer whether they are correct or not. Why? We are giving a special time for this. Don't keep checking your time. Yes, don't keep checking your time. Why? Because If you keep checking your watch, if you keep checking the watch which is running in the template, of course, you are not allowed to carry the watch. So if you are looking at this watch, you are going to waste more time. So you're going to check the time only after 30 minutes. Is it okay? Fine. Next one, very important thing, keep it in mind. We are going to use the software and we are going to mark some questions and we are going to review this question. Keep it in mind after you complete the 150 MCQs, and you are going to use about 100 minutes for this because I'm going to show you how to use this software. After completing this 100 minutes, what you are going to do, you are going to use the remaining 50 minutes for reviewing the question. So this I am going to explain you after this. Another one very important point, most of the people have this urge to complete this FMG as soon as possible. Why? It is usual our brain is making us to apprehend that this FMG is a threat. So we feel like we want to finish this exam as soon as possible. Keep it in mind, each MCQ counts. You don't have negative marking, which means you should attempt and answer all questions even though you don't know. So make sure you answer all 300 questions. So do MCQs in cluster, maximum 10 questions. After 10 questions, take a very small break. Yes, within second. Stretch, take a deep breath and exhale, relax for a second. Then go for the next one. Once you are doing MCQs, don't keep looking for the previous questions answer. You waste the time. You will be given time for doing this. So don't do this. You will waste the time. Don't keep checking the time in the template. Why? You will waste the time. You will be given time when once you complete 3 sets, you can go. Complete all 300 MCQs. Don't miss any MCQs. Why? Each MCQ counts. You should try to resist the urge of completing the FMG as soon as possible. Try to take time. Try to choose the appropriate answers. Let's go. How to tackle the pacing and difficulty levels. So once again, I'm going to show how to work on this. So keep it in mind. Now you can see over here, we are going to spend about 45 seconds per question. It is not fixed because sometimes you might be getting really easy question. So if you are wasting only 10 seconds, you can use remaining 35 seconds for a difficult question. But in average, please try to premeditate and train with 45 seconds. So now you can understand. Once you are going through the set of MCQs, in one part, about 20 questions might be really difficult for almost all FMG aspirants. So once you find such a question, you are going to skip this question. Don't waste time here. Why, I will explain. From educational psychology point of view, your brain doesn't work in series. It works parallelly. Sometimes you don't get some answer for some question, and once you keep working on some other question, suddenly it will be popping up, for question 15, the answer came. If you watch Dr. House, such things happens in many cases for him. He would be working with one case, he doesn't know the diagnosis. Once he is working with another one patient, suddenly he gets this pop-up. Probably this might be a Lyme disease. If you remember such episodes in Dr. House, same story. Your brain works technically parallelly. So once you don't have an idea about a question, you are leaving it. Once you are going and working with another one question, it will be popping up. Another one thing, once you are getting a difficult question, don't waste too much of time. Don't linger too long over a tough question. I explained you 3 reasons. If you waste more time in this, you won't have enough time to go for even the easy question. You will run out of time. One thing, once you are going to work more and more and more, what happens? You are wasting the time. So technically what happens? The anxiety increases. Another one thing, I already told you, there's a positive correlation between lingering too long over a tough question and choosing a wrong answer. You waste more time, you have a positive correlation of choosing a wrong answer. So don't waste time. Skip this question because you will come back again. You will be coming back. So you will be allotting time to go back and rethink about this difficult question. So here we are going to give some time. When I show you how to use this software, I'll show you where you will dedicate this time to come back, rethink, and consider this question. So once you face this difficult question, don't waste time. Read it. If you think that you don't know, you are trying to think, not working, 45 seconds, skip it. Go to the next one. Don't waste more time. It is a really good advice. I will tell you some more technical points after this. Okay, one very important thing I want to tell you are going to treat each question as a separate entity. Why? If you keep thinking about the tough question what came before, let's think that 14th question is very tough, you don't know, or you are unable to recall. So once you are unable to recall and tough, automatically your brain is wired to think about this question because you are thinking, I studied, I don't know what is this. But keep it in mind, you are going to block this question out. You are going to skip it out. You are going to treat the next question as a separate entity. Don't let this tough question to contaminate your positive attitude. Because once you think and get stressed, your positive attitude will be contaminated. Now you start to think negative. Oh my God, 14th question I didn't know. But 15th question is where you are now. It is easy. So just adapt, adjust rapidly as you are moving from one item to another item. And also, one very key thing I want to tell you, once you are completing part A, before going to part B, don't talk to people and discuss about the tough questions and the mistakes you made. There are some students who will be always talking something negative. There's a group of population and they always talk about the hurdles. They always talk something negative. They'll be always telling you something that, whatever you made as a mistake while you are studying. Keep it in mind, you don't have time for all these naysayers and negative talkers. You cannot manage to give time for such kind of negative thinking. You should have positive thinking. Don't let such type of thoughts to contaminate your positive attitude. If you talk to some people and if you get more contaminated about whatever mistakes you made, now you feel guilty, you get more anxiety, your positive attitude will be going into negative attitude. You won't be able to perform in part B. Keep it in mind. Nowadays, part B is more difficult. It is more conceptual. Your brain should work properly. So, three things. Don't let the tough question to contaminate your positive attitude. Forget about this. You don't know only 14. 15 is fine. Work with 15. Forget about this 14 now. Work with what you know right now. Adjust, adapt rapidly as you are moving to the other one. Forget about the previous one right now. You will have time to come and check this. And once you get the break after completing part B, don't talk to naysayers, negative talkers. You can't have time for this right now. You cannot manage to give such negative thoughts to contaminate your positive attitude. Is it clear? Fine, let's go to the next. Okay, how to handle this FMGE or NBE software. I'll show you some technique over here. Once again, you know that in each part you have 150 questions. So technically they are providing you 150 minutes. So 150 minutes are given. As I already told you, in one part you will be finding about 20 tough questions. For almost all students, they feel 10 to 20 questions. So let's take for 75% of the students, 20 questions are tough. Keep it in mind, 20 questions are really easy. It's very easy to understand and answer. But 20 are tough. So let's minus these 20 questions because you are going to skip them. Once you read as fast as possible, you understand, I have no clue. I don't know what is this question. Skip it. So minus 20, so you have 130 questions here. Is it clear? You have 130 questions over here. So you are going to give about how many seconds per question? About 45 seconds per question, which means for 130 questions, in average, you are going to spend not more than 100 minutes. Is it clear? About 100 minutes. It will be less than 100, so I am putting about 100 minutes. So which means for the primary reading of the questions and choosing the answers and skipping the questions, you are going to spend only 100 minutes. This is mistake. It is not 110. This is going to be 100 minutes. Is it clear? It is going to be 100 minutes. Yes, it is going to be 100 minutes. So what is next over here? You should understand. Yes, I'll show you. One second. One second. Okay. So if you remember this FMGE template, once you are going into the MCQ, you will be having an option called mark option. So how to effectively use this mark option, I'm going to show you over here within the time given to you. So as I already told you, you are going to spend about 45 seconds optimally per question. So you are going to skip about 20 questions technically, which means for reading, initial reading, for skipping, and for what? For choosing the appropriate option, you are going to spend 100 minutes out of 150 minutes. So what you will be doing? So if you find easy and simple question and you are confident about this answer, you are going to attempt this question and you are going to find the answer. You are going to choose the answer. You already know this question's answer is this. What is the longest cranial nerve in your body? Answer is valgus. Valgus is option D. So you're going to choose option D. Are you going to mark? Don't mark, because you are sure the question has the appropriate answer and you know about this, you are confident about this answer. So don't mark. Next one you can understand, you are going to get a set of questions. Usually people get about 30 questions per part. They are confusing for you. Know that there are 4 options. There are 4 options. Sorry guys, I forgot to share the screen, I guess. Yes. I forgot to share the screen. Yes. Okay, I guess I missed from this slide, yes? I missed from this slide, I guess, yes. Okay, fine. I'll do it again. Fine. So once again, this is one of the techniques we are teaching our students. This is a smart handling technique of FMGE or NBE software. So if you get the NBE software, you will be getting questions. There will be a timer running. And also once you are approaching each question, there will be a special option called mark option. How we are going to use this mark option and how we are going to manage the timings here. This is very important. So you know that there will be 150 MCQs, 150 minutes will be given. I am going to tell you some kind of statistics once again. So keep it in mind, in these 150 questions, about 20 questions are tough questions for many FMGs. On contrary, 20 questions are really very easy for many FMGs. For example, like a very straight question. What is the longest cranial nerve in your body? Is it clear? So the mistake over here, which I already showed you, yes, So this is not 110, it will be 100 minutes. I'm going to explain once again. Yes. So let's think that 20 MCQs are very tough MCQs, which means that you are going to subtract these 20 MCQs. So you have about 130 MCQs, which means easy ones and confusing ones. So what you are going to do initially, you are going to read all 150 questions. Yes, you are going to skip the difficult 20 question about. I'm just giving you a statistical number. It can be more or it can be less, but usually it is average of 20 MCQs. So you will skip 20 MCQs. Yes, but you are going to read all the confusing MCQs. You are going to choose the appropriate answer for the 130 MCQs, except for the 20 MCQ you skip. So which means for 130 MCQs, you can see over here, you are optimally spending 45 seconds per MCQ, which means you are going to spend about 100 minutes out of 150 minutes in one part. So this is a mistake. It is not 110. This is 100 minutes. So what you are going to do with 50 minutes, I will give you a proper strategy what you are going to do with the 50 minutes. So let's see how to use this software. So now you can see this software is going to have a mark option. How to use this mark option? I'll explain you how much time, how to use this mark option. After marking for 50 minutes, what we are going to do. So now you can see there are easy question, there are question, yes, confusing one. Usually, statistically, about 30 questions per part are confusing. And you know that it depends. Easy questions will be remaining, and about 20 questions are very difficult and unknown for you. So let's think this way. You are reading a question, it is easy or simple question, or it is approachable question, which means you are confident about the answer from what you studied. You are going to attempt the question. You are going to mark. No, you don't mark this option. You are going to choose the appropriate answer. Mark option is to mark this question that I want to check this question once again. I will tell once again. So if you are approaching an MCQ, it is too easy for you. You know the answer. You are confident about this. You attempt. You choose the option. Don't mark this. Why? Because you already know it is correct. If you need, you can check this later on. So you are dividing them. You are dividing the questions into 3 sets. First, you attempt, you choose the answer. Second one, I already told you, statistically, 30 questions must be confusing for you. So if you know that out of 4 options, always 2 options you can rule out. You know that they are not correct. But other 2 options are really intimidating. They are going to jump and tell you, choose me, choose me, choose me. It happens because they are very relative. They look similar. You are confused with these 2 options. There are 30 questions with such 2 options that are very close to each other. You won't be able to choose B or C. So what do we say? They are doubtful question. Do you attempt? Yes, you attempt the question. Do you choose the answer? You choose the answer. But keep it in mind, you mark this question. This is like a light on this MCQ. So this is going to tell you there were confusing MCQs. So this is the second category. What is the category? The last category, technically, unknown MCQ. I told you statistically there are about 30. So these 30 MCQs, you should keep it in mind. Yes, you don't know any clue about this MCQ. It is too difficult for you. Do you attempt? Don't attempt. Do you mark? Don't mark also. So there are 3 categories of MCQs in this software. Once you complete all 150 MCQs, you can go to this review option, and now you can see what questions you already answered. First set. What questions were doubtful that you marked? What question you didn't mark at all that will be appearing in a special reddish light color. Is it clear? So 3 set of categories you get. You attempt because they were easy or they were approachable. You know the answer. You mark. I'm saying like you chose the answer. You marked the answer. You didn't use this mark button. This is a special option to give a special emphasis or light to a question to be checked later on. So what group of questions? Confusing ones. You already chose the answer, but you think that it might be a mistake. I will see it later. I want to see them. So you mark them. You just click the mark option. Next, you don't know, so skip this question. So once you are completing 100 minutes, you have 50 minutes, you are going to the review option. Once you use the review option, you can understand what did you complete. Out of that, where you have doubts, they are marked, you get this light. Yes, a special mark here. Yes, and the last one you didn't attempt at all, they will be having a special mark. So now you are going to use the remaining 50 minutes to sort out whatever you missed. So let's go to next one. Next 50 minutes. You are going to utilize this 50 minutes to do something. What are these things? First of all, you are going to use the review option. Once you are using the review option, after that, after putting the review option, you are going to get two more options. What are these two more options? Either you can click the unattempted MCQs and check what are these MCQs. Or you can also go to a set of MCQs you attempted and you mark them. So keep it in mind, here you are strategically, cleverly, you are dividing all the MCQs into three sections. One section, you chose the answers. You don't have, usually, you don't have any doubt. You are more or less confident, even though you can check them later. So you don't mark them. You don't use the mark option. Choose the answer. Second one, you know they are confusing. You choose the answer, but you are putting a mark. This is the mark option. Then the last one, you are not going to attempt this. You leave them. So automatically they will be marked in a special color. So after completing 100 minutes effectively, you are going to use remaining 50 minutes more effectively. Why? This is the technically revision time for you. This is the correction time for you. So use review option. After that, you get two more options. Either you can go into unattempted question, this group of question, or you can get into the question that are marks, which mean the confused question. Okay, I'll tell you some fact and statistics. Keep it in mind. For unattempted question, we are giving 10 minutes, which means technically, if you have 20 difficult questions, use 30 seconds more. Most of the brilliant students are saying, from my institute, from the interviews I conducted, most of the brilliant students from my class who scored more than 230, 220, they say one thing, sir, if the questions are unknown, if you don't have any clue about this question, better don't waste time. Because they are going to be about 10 to 20 questions, maximum 20 questions. So don't waste much time. Use the educated guess or intelligent guess. Try to choose one option and try to sort it out and finish it off as much as possible. Don't linger around too much of time. Why? Because if you waste much time, you won't have enough time to waste for the question where we have the doubt. So my best students are advising, once these questions are really tough, if you don't have idea about this question, most probably, sir, we won't know about it. We won't get any clue about this. So don't waste much time. Skip it, or I don't advise to skip. Go for the intelligent guess. I'm going to show you how to use this intelligent guess. And you are going to waste not more than 10 minutes. You finish it off. If you get something correct, good for you. No negative marking, but you don't waste more time. If you keep wasting more time, then you won't have time for the other two steps I'm going to tell you. What is the next step? So first, review option, then click unattempted question. You know that these are the tough 20 questions, maximum 20 questions for you. Don't waste too much of time. Use educated guess. You already read this question. You are reading for the second time. Don't give more than 30 seconds. Complete all these 20 questions in 10 minutes. This is my advice, because usually, according to my students, the best students, the brilliant students, if you don't know, you don't know. That's it. Don't waste time. Use intelligent guess. What about next question? You click the review option and you go to marked and attempted. What is the meaning of marked and attempted? Which means that you already chose some answer. You have this question marked because you have doubts, you have confusion. So here you are going to read the question. Yes, give 45 seconds. Again, read it carefully. You think the answer what you chose is wrong, you can reconsider to choose the necessary option. Only once you think the answer is wrong. Don't just change it. Once you feel, only once you check that, okay, I made a mistake, it is too obvious. Because previously I didn't choose this answer based on the fact. I just chose it because I was feeling it. Obviously, B is not the answer, but I chose. So if you're 100% sure that the answer you chose for these questions were wrong, go for the other option. So you will waste about 20 minutes for this. So 10 plus 20, technically 30 minutes. What about other 20 minutes? Go through all the question what you attempted. Even you think that you know whatever you attempted and you are confident, sometimes you might think, okay, I overlooked some question. I didn't read all the options. I jumped into conclusion. If you think that, then just go for changing the option. Consider about changing the option once you are sure the answer is wrong. So again, it's very simple. Yes, out of 150 minutes, 100 minutes you are going to choose for the primary reading, choosing the option, marking the confused question, and skipping the difficult question. All should be done in 100 minutes. Remaining 15 minutes. So I already told you how to choose this one. Yes. So easy, confident, attempt, don't mark. Confusing, doubtful, mark, and you're going to choose the option. If you don't have any clue about this, don't attempt, don't mark. You are dividing question into 3 groups. Then you are approaching them again in the correction section. 50 minutes. 10 minutes you are going to give for unattempted. Click review, click unattempted MCQ. All of them will be coming. After that, click review and you will go to mark attempt. All the doubtful questions, 20 minutes. After that, you have 20 more minutes. You are going to review all the questions and you think if you made a mistake, if you are sure, then you can go for it. This is our sincere advice. This is the most effective plan what we are giving. And if you think you are more smarter with some more smarter techniques, please adapt or you can go for it, as I already told you. Because if you think you don't have any plan, use our plan. We are giving you a very generalized and a good, effective platform. If you think you have some idea, you want to modify my plan, please go for it. It will be really great. Last, about 10% of the students are brilliant students. They will have their own plan. Like we have our own plan. My brilliant students are also consulting with me with my plan. They have their own plan. Go with it. No problem at all. You don't need to religiously follow whatever we are saying. You can choose, you can adapt, you can adjust. This is the best way of tracking this FMGE. Is it clear? Okay. Last part. Now you know that what is the intelligent guess. So you know that there are 2 things. They might use this word. One is called intelligent guess or educated guess. The next guess is called blind guess. Keep it in mind. Once you have some question, you don't have clue about this. Yes? So for you, the information which is provided in this question is not sufficient to come to a conclusion to pick one answer. So you think that you don't know this question. There are 2 ways of choosing the answer. There are 4 options. And what is the meaning of blind guess? Tuck, tick, toe. What is the option? Option is B. Why? Because I just think option is B. This is not called intelligent guess. This is called blind guess. Don't go for blind guess. I'll show you how to do the intelligent guess. So once you don't have a clue how to choose the answers, you are going to use a special technique over here. We call it as intelligent guess or educated guess. What is the blind guess? Close your eye. You just choose out of 4. Now you put your finger. Okay, it is B. B is correct. It is not that way. We have to use the intelligent guess. how to use the intelligent guess and when to use the intelligent guess. So you know that there's no substitute for your knowledge. So you know that there will be some question, it might be 10, it might be up to 20 questions per paper. That would be really difficult. You might not have to, or you are unable to recall. In this case, you are going to use this intelligent guess. How to use this intelligent guess? I'm going to tell you something from educational psychology point of view. Trust your educated guess because the first guess answer comes somewhere from the deep recess of your unconscious memory bank. This is how your brain works. So usually the first guess, educated guess is correct. 50 plus percentage it is correct. Around 60 percentage you can say. So keep it in mind. Trust your educated guess. How to do this? Now you read the question, you are reading the stem, you are reading the direction in the stem, and you are trying to correlate with the options you have. First, what you should do, you are going to completely remove two irrelevant options, which means I already told you four options. Let's say D and B are completely irrelevant for you. They look really stupid to you. You think they are not correct at all. So you exclude them. These are distracted. You already excluded them. After that, you will be having A and D, and you know that these two are intimidating. They look similar. They will push you that, pick me, pick me. No. First, you are going to compare the essence of the question, essence of the direction, and try to logically match out of these two options which one is satisfying the stem, which one is most satisfying your direction. Is it clear? Read the question, logically think, okay, what do you feel out of four, which two are so stupid? B and D. So A and C is left over. So now what do you think? You are going to compare this A and C, and you compare and reason out what part of the question or the part of the question or the direction is satisfying you with these two options. Which one? Which option? Is it clear? So if you think if it is A, then you can go for it. If you think it is C, you can go for it. So again, read the question, understand the direction. Logically, you think you are going to exclude two options. Then you have two more. Out of that, now you think, after reading the stem, which one of them will be satisfying the direction of this stem? You go for it. This is the intelligent one. So this is called intelligent guess. Keep it in mind, intelligent guess usually works very well with conceptual question. They work more with conceptual question than the fact-based question. It is very difficult to use the intelligent guess in fact-based question because if they are asking you a question, what is the most common cause of meningitis in children below 1 year of age? So technically, like, children or like neonates, they just ask. So this is fact-based. If you studied, you can choose this. You should know some kind of special techniques to remember such facts, like mnemonics. I explained you last time. But once you are going for exclusion and logical exclusion and choosing the answer based on your intelligent guess, it is very difficult to work with the fact-based question than the concept-based question. This is my opinion. From educational psychological point of view, this is my opinion. But still, you can try. Don't go for blind guess. Don't close your eye and choose one option. How to choose? Intelligent guess. Read the stem, cut out two stupid options. They are called irrelevant options. You have two more relevant ones. Whatever the stem is saying, out of these two, which is matching the most, you choose this one. That's it. Simple. Okay. The next advice, keep it in mind that every question counts. I already told you. So don't leave any answers blank. So you're going to use the educated guess or intelligent guess and choose. Don't leave any blank. Just choose an option. Why? It doesn't pay. It doesn't give you some negative marks. it is not going to hamper your next question. You mark it. Yes, I'm talking about the answers. You answer it. Don't give them blank. Okay, two more important things. Keep it in mind. Statistically, they say most of the brilliant students and good students and toppers who attempt FMGE or NEET PG, they say that if you have a tough question, usually the examiners tend to choose answer B or C to be the correct one. So the option B or C to be the correct one. From psychological point of view, it is correct. Why? Because we have A and B, A and B. So A, after that you have B and C, and at last you have D. So usually the examiners, including me, would try to give some kind of fancy, yes, answer that will give you some kind of illusion to pick them up. And they will try to put this distractor in option A or option D. This technique is called blanket technique, or we call it blanketing technique. So they are making your eyes to go blind by blanketing B or C with option A and D. And usually this option A and D will be wrong. They are distractors. They will give you some fancy type of answer to make you to come into an illusion to choose this. They are not correct. So usually they say this is statistical. I am not approving it for 100%, but when we analyze, most of the time B and C might be correct in case of very tough question. If you are going for educated guess, if you have answer A and C, if you are unable to exclude A and C, better go for this C. Why? Because this is statistically correct. Why? According to psychology, most of the examiners use this technique called blanket technique. They blanket B and C with wrong options A and D. The last thing, if you are choosing option which is containing an alternative called all of the above or none of the above. If you are getting all of the above or none of the above, it's not written here, none of the above. So once you are checking these options, if you think more than one or two answers are correct, or more than one or two answers are incorrect, then immediately a light should be blinking. Just check the last option D. There is all of the above or none of the above. Keep it in mind. You read all the option. While reading A, B, C, you have this feeling more than one option or more than two options are correct, or more than one or two options are wrong. Check this option D. If you find all of the above, yes, are correct or incorrect, you can go for it. Keep it in mind. This is another one advice. So magic of B and C, blanketing technique, importance of all of the above or none of the above. Keep it in mind. Okay, let's go. Can we change the answer choices? This is the last part. Yes? Can we change the answer choices? You can change the answer choices. When you can change the answer choices, once you are 100% sure that you made a mistake in choosing the wrong answer in this appropriate question. So you think that I overlooked this question. By mistake, I didn't read correct. At the end of this question, there is an except word. I didn't see this. I made a mistake. So you think you have overlooked a signifying qualifying word. Oh, it's quite obvious. Answer A is not correct at all. You made a mistake. If you think you made a mistake for 100%, you can change the option. Good news for you. From educational psychology researchers, when students are changing the answer for one time, the option from wrong to right is about 60%. Now you can see over here, it is 57.8, almost 60%. So keep it in mind, once you are changing the option for the first time, the probability of making it to a correct one is 60%. So once your brain is thinking that whatever answer you chose was a mistake, 400%, change it. Now you can see a right to wrong option. So the probability of making the option from right to wrong is only 20%. And you can see they were about 20%. These are nullified effect because of some error. So you can see technically, once you know that the answer you chose was wrong, change it again. Why? It's good for you. Statistically, 60% of the probability is going to say, yes, go, you're going to get it correct. But what is bad? Once you are, according to the psychological researchers, once you are changing the option for more than one time, it was not favoring the probability of correct answer. Actually, it was going inverse. Once they keep changing to the second option, usually they tend to make mistake. So once again, if you are 100% sure that the answer is wrong, because last time one student was asking in the webinar, sir, once I choose the answer, I always think this is wrong, it is not correct. But you should ask 3 questions here. Why do you think it is wrong? Because you chose the answer not based on a fact, you just felt it. This is called hunch based answer. Did you do this? First question. Second question, once you are rereading the question, you are understanding, you overlook the signifying qualifying word like except. Are you 100% sure that you just missed it? Next one, it is quite obvious while marking the answer, instead of marking A, you marked it B by mistake. What is the longest nerve, the cranial nerve in the body? It's vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is in A option, but while marking the option, you made a mistake of choosing B. So you are obvious you made a mistake in choosing the answer. So once you think that I'm making mistake, I really want to change answer, ask 3 questions to me. Why did you choose the answer? Because you just chose it for namesake. Blind guess. Yes, you just chose it based on what? A hunch, a feeling, not fact. First question. Second question, while you read, you think that did you overlook a signifying qualifying word? Second question. Third question, you check the options. Obviously, you think you made a clerical mistake of choosing the option. 3 questions. If any of these is matching, you are 100% sure that you made a mistake, go for changing the answer. Otherwise, don't change. I guess this was Dr. Srinivasa Reddy who asked me this question before 2 weeks. He asked, sir, I'm always thinking that I'm making a mistake. Ask these 3 questions. If you're fitting into one of these 3, go for it. Is it clear? Okay, next very important question in psychology. Why are we scared when we want to change the answer? This is real. This is your brain. This effect is called von Ristor's effect. What effect? Von Ristor's effect. We use this in psychology in many places. I will just tell you a small example. Like you are living in a house and there's a road in front of your house and you have to go to your school, and every day you are crossing the road, getting a bus and going to your school. And this is the ritual. You are doing it for 5 years. You are not scared at all to cross the road. But one day while crossing the road, you are banged by a motorbike. From this day, technically before crossing the road, you will feel this apprehension. Oh my God, I might be banged. I should be careful while crossing the road. You will stand, you will check, you will take time, and you will cross. This effect is called as von Ristor's effect. Von Ristor's effect. Why? Because usually our brains try to retain the events that are unusual and unfavorable. Keep it in mind. Our brains are wired to retain the most unusual and unfavorable, especially the sad events that happen to you. They tend to store it and you retain it and you recall it all the time. Why? Because now your brain is making you to apprehend Once you are crossing the road, somebody is going to bang you. Why? The memory of this event is coming back. Once again, our brains tend to retain the events that are unusual, unfavorable, and sad, which means we tend to be apprehended to do such events once again. So, once you are a child or once you are doing such kind of activities, you have this memory, and again, once you want to do this, your brain will block. It will tell, don't do this. Same thing is applicable to changing the answers. Because once you change the answer in the past, and if it was wrong, you felt bad. So, this unfavorable, sad, and unusual event is already stored in your brain. Even though 10 times you change the answer, 9 times they were correct. But one time it was wrong. I already told you, your brain will store and it will mark only the unfavorable event. This is coming back again and again. Once you want to really change the answer, the von Ristof's effect will block you. Don't change it. That's why I'm telling you once again, ask 3 questions. If you are fitting into any of these 3 questions, you are 100% sure that you want to change the answer. Change the answer. Be aware of von Ristof's effect. Your brain is doing this. Don't listen. Change it if you think you are 100% correct. What are the pitfalls? What are the side effects of changing the answer? If your brain is not working correct, if you are too anxious, I already told you, once you are trying to do a task, you get performance anxiety. This should be optimal in order to push your brain to work optimally. But once anxiety is disproportionately very high, your brain will shut down. So once too much of anxiety, you are emotionally vulnerable, you are too tired because you didn't sleep 3 days, 4 days before exam. This is one of the biggest mistakes. More than 25-30% of FMG aspirants, they try to cram everything in the last 7 days. 7 days don't sleep. They don't sleep. Once you don't sleep, your brain doesn't work. I'll explain about this psychology later. If your brain is not working because you are not sleeping, you are tired. You won't be able to choose the correct answer. Why? The brain is not working. In this way, you might push yourself to choose a wrong answer. So keep it in mind. Your mental abilities should be very straight. It should not be hampered. Your mental health should be sound. So you should not have stress. You should not be emotionally vulnerable. You should not be tired. You should sleep well before the exam. You should sleep every day, minimum 7 hours. Because once you sleep, only your brain will be going into pilot mode to sort out whatever you study. This I explained you. Especially before the day of exam, you have to sleep minimum 7 hours. If you are tired, your brain won't work. You won't be able to do the choices what is necessary. You won't be able to answer. So this is the biggest pitfall. Keep it in mind. If you are anxious, if you are emotionally unstable, you are too tired, then you tend to make mistakes while you are changing the answer. Is it clear? This is the last slide. So you can read my article in the website and you can see what are the toppers do and don'ts. That's not difficult. I will be sending you right now. Let me send you the web page. You can read. Yes. This is the web page. You can visit our website. You can read it. Yes. One minute. Let me. Okay. Can you see now? Okay. You can visit our webpage. You can read and understand all the things we provided. DMA is the only one institute. We work according to educational psychology and statistics. We are not just coaching centers. We are teaching at university level. I was the academic coordinator in one university for more than 5 years. We work with students. We work with educational psychology. We work with top class educators. We know the behavior of students. We are working to make you better. We are giving you insight. We are giving you technique that would be really helping you to crack the FMGE, but also more than FMGE, to carry you to the next level, to make you more intelligent. So you should work not just in a hunch-based manner. You should work with educational psychology. This is very important. Okay, let me just go to the last one. So next webinar. Next webinar will be by next Monday. So what we are going to discuss, this is very important part. Why practicing tests should be an essential component of FMG preparation. Why it is essential to practice or keep practicing tests. What are the plus and minuses? I'll explain you. What all type of tests you should practice. So if you are practicing for 6 months or 2 months or 1 month, what type of test you should do? Why you should practice the past paper? What are the importance of past papers? Yes, how the test should be scheduled? What type of test? What is the schedule? And the last part, once you are doing any type of test, how to analyze your performance and how to fill up the deficiency, because you normally know that once you are doing, once you are reading, once you are watching any lectures, you'll be having some knowledge gaps. And once you're doing the test, you understand, okay, I didn't understand this concept, I made a mistake. And you should read the explanation, you should come and read the material you wrote. You should probably also check the video lectures to fill up this gap, knowledge gap. But how to analyze the performance, what kind of mistakes you are making, and how to fill up the deficiency, all these will be discussed in the next webinar. Okay, the last part. Guys, once again, you can see the prices of the apps are decreased and revised. So the FMG formula app, we revised the price to 3,000 rupees. This is the cheapest in market. What do we provide? All study materials, all study plans, and we are giving 240 plus tests, and we increased the MCQs to 50,000 already. We also provide video lectures of last minute revision of 19 subjects. It is not the complete lecture, but video revision. All of them we are giving for only 3,000 rupees. This is the cheapest. I am advising you, if you take, it is going to be really helpful for you. And if you are choosing any individual test, we are providing a lot of tests for very cheap packages. Now you can see all of them are like 500 rupees. So if you are choosing subject-wise mocks, 57 tests are given for 500 rupees only. Probably for 500 rupees, you can buy 2 biryanis. We are providing you 57 tests for 500 rupees. So I really advise you, this is more than a business. We are trying to help students. We are keeping really the economic packages. We decrease, we cut down, and we revise the prices for the complete app and last minute revision too. Now last minute revision is about 1,500 and the complete app is 3,000 rupees. Please look into this. If you like, you can go to this. Yes, you can go to this. You can go to this website and you can find the various packages. You can read about the packages and you can buy whatever is necessary. Okay. Okay, the last part I'm going to finish now. Okay, the last part. Okay. We are also providing high yield subject, and it will be in a recorded session, also in a video live what we will be providing. App will be given per subject and test will be given chapter wise, subject wise, image based, smart study material, study plan and counseling. Everything will be given, and we are giving one subject for 3,000 rupees and you can grab the discount for 500 rupees. Please look into this. You can also find this in our website. Okay, the last part, we are also providing a special Telegram group. In this group, we discuss MCQs per day. We are also discussing special techniques of solving the MCQs and attempting the FMGE. We are also providing free study materials. We are also providing some kind of hot video sessions. They are like short topics but hot sessions. Please join our Telegram groups if you didn't join, and this will be really helpful for you. And at last, if you have any queries, if you have any questions, you can join the Telegram group, you can join the WhatsApp group, or you can contact us in the number given over here. You can contact us in WeChat, WhatsApp, or Telegram. So thank you for joining. If you have any question, you can just message us through the hotline which we gave over here. Yes, and thank you so much. I can also provide the link for Telegram. We will provide it over here. And thank you so much for joining. And I hope that this webinar was an eye-opener for you, even though like not many people join, I guess, from my classes either. But if you really utilize whatever I explained to you, this is going to be your eye-opener, and this is going to change the vision what you had about MCQs, and it will make sure that you are scoring 200 plus in the coming FMGE. Thank you so much. Goodbye.